Hi, welcome to the next edition of upgrading starter decks to full-blown explorer decks. We're going to go ahead and revisit the second iteration of Faeries Pranks. So this deck, I think, is pretty solid for, and this is probably the top of the line. So like there will be no more uncommons and commons that you really would want to get post this point. So the next video will be basically, this is the final product with all the rares and mythics that you need to add after this. So if you like the series, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification so go for future videos. We're on our way to 1,000 subs. Let's get there together. Let's get into this deck list and see the deck in action. So the deck list we're playing today, the upgrades we made was, I believe we added some more sleight of hands, ego drain, we added another fencing, and then we added some ops, and that's essentially it for the main. So we added a cut down, some spell pierces, anoint with affliction, and then sustainable stroke and negates. This allows us to end go blank. So we have a little bit of graveyard hate. So most of our upgrades today is in the sideboard with minor things in the main board. Because like we cut the duress and move it to the board. Because Ego Drain is basically the best version we can get. And it's an uncommon, which the non-budget version of this is, of course, we're just going to play Thought Seizes. So if you have Thought Seizes, replace it with this. But we're going to slowly pivot into the rare one next week. So that'll be the last one regarding Fairy Pranks. And we're going to get into a different deck after that. Let me know in the comment section below which deck you want me to target next. I think I'm going to do the Simic Desert one, and then I'm going to do two more. So, like, I'm not sure what the other two are going to be. So, that is the list we're trying out today. Let's see if this deck has what it takes to compete on the ladder. Sewers. Okay. Probably control. Play a Swamps, I go. So, this is one of the bigger upgrades, I should say, we did. We have these whatever kind of lands these are. I mean, they're much better for a uncommon land. So, but you can't do this with the enemy color lands because of the fact that, well, they are they're rares and they're snarls, so they're not very good in that regard. So we're gonna play an island. They go. Cracks the clue. Thought Seize. So there's no point in doing that. Go ahead and reveal. You can take the Spell Stutter or you can take the Duelist. I don't think these Fatal Pushes are very relevant against a control deck. And of course he takes my Duelist. By the Swamps, they go. Alright, just plays a land and passes. That's another irrelevant card. We'll play an island, say go. Another field. Okay. Sewers. Any lands, we're immediately going to get rid of that as well. Go. I mean, he can field way a Sewers or a Sanctuary, but go ahead and attempt to try to Spell Stutter. You keep tap down. Sure. Yeah, counter it. With a land and passes. Go. Another Deluge. I'm just thinking this hand is not going to cut it. Our clock isn't very good. Alright, finally drew a threat. It's probably going to need a counter spell. So in the non-budget version, we get a couple copies of Cavernous Souls, which help with this aspect. There's no point in us trying to counter that. Alright, go ahead and try to blow up all my dual lands. That's not that big of a deal to me. It just means I am drawing less lands later. So now we have Fatal Push for the Hall. That's all we can do with it. And Opt isn't terrible. We'll go ahead and Opt. No more fencing, please. And a land. That's not helpful. Go. Deluge, I can't counter. Alright, untaps. Plays a Swamp, it passes. Dream Thief. That means that this becomes counter unless they pay 3, but it's not a lot. Miscreant is fine, I guess. They go. You got a Fatal Push. Or do you feel the ruin here to prevent me from drawing the card that I kept on top that you don't know about? You do know it's most likely not a land, though. Nothing I could do about that. They field me. That happened. Grab a swamp. There you go. So we have 13 lands left in the deck. Almost gone through 10 of them. I mean, I can't with that resolve. Nothing I can do about this. I mean, sure. Scoop it up. So in this particular matchup, right, we cut the Fatal Pushes, we cut the Fairy Fencing, and that's pretty solid, right? Then we go up Duresses, up Spell Pierces, Mystical Disputes, Negates as well, maybe even Stroke and Go Blank. We have potential lot of options here because we have so many dead cards game 1. So we have 4 cards we would have to cut. Maybe Stroke isn't worth it. I like Go Blank for the fact that it gets rid of the Memory Deluge. Maybe Spell Pierce and a Sleight of Hand. Run out like that. Swamp, Dream Thief, go. No more Dream Thieves, please. So hopefully we do a lot better this game. We have a lot more non-dead cards. So play land, hit ya, go. Shocks himself. Alright, play a Duelist. Alright, this black source is not relevant. Let's keep shoving. Say go. Deduce. Yeah, that happens. I am not wasting a counterspell on that. We'll stutter. Island is ideal. Smack you. Play a Fairy. There you go. So we have a dispute up. I don't know if that's going to be relevant or not. He just plays a... Okay, another counter spell. So we get Ultra Frisky. Makes a Shark. Okay. So he can take out my Duelist. Or he can take out a Fairy. Takes out the Fairy. Alright. Goes to 7. They go. A Swamp. Go Blank. Attempt to counter it. If he counters this, I just literally take out the Opt and the Sleight of Hand. So he basically, that card is going to be dead for a while now. Because our graveyard's gone. Hit ya. Takes 2. Say go. Tap land. I don't know why it tries to make me tap my double black. Or my double blue, but... Dream Thief. Draw. Another land. Say decline. Pass the turn. Cracks the clue. He's got 3 mana left over. Cycles the Censor. Basically a useless card at this point. The issue is we don't have any... So, a Wrath is inbound? Attempt to go blank. you have a shark, you have a shark. I'm just dead if you do. Right? There's no point. Yeah, because it doesn't do anything. I can't beat a 5/5 shark. I cut all my removal. Alright, 0-1. Let's get into the next. Whips, huh? So we play our land as I go. We can leave up a fatal push, but I don't know how good that's going to be. So a pathway. FOMO. Get rid of FOMO. So this is probably Grease Fang. Yeah, Mardu Fang. Figured it. Play land, say go. So you have to get to this Talon. Or Talon. Be able to Mirror Breaker, counter. Play land. And a sleight of hand. Take a land, I guess. Say go. Tap Theater. What else do you have? Another Fable. Counter it. So he's lead off with a sleight of hand. Take a Fairy Miscreant. Dream Thief. I guess we draw Miscreant. Play a Miscreant, I go. I don't know how good this is going to be, but he could have a Fang, and he does. So that means we definitely need to block with the Dream Thief. Just to slow this down. And take the 8 down to 12. And I'm assuming he's... Yeah, I'm just going to let the rest of it go. Alright, so we play Fairy Miscreant. See what we draw. Another land. Play a Talon. We will pick... Either 2 or 3. I think I picked 2. Yep. So we have our best thing, but the issue is I don't think it's good enough. Not at this current board state. Tap land, Blood Tithe Harvester. Yeah, we draw a card. He takes some damage, but he just cracks the blood token, get rid of the Parhelion. Now we're basically stuck. Because he gets the Parhelion back. And gets frisky. So that's 12 getting across. So we're just dead. If we block with the Talion, we're just dead anyways. So we have Go Blank. Anointed does get rid of a Fang. Besides that, what can we cut? Fatal Push is very finicky. It's very hard to enable it, but at the same time, we can't. I guess we have Fencing. Fencing can kill it. So down the Fatal Push. I think that's fine. Run it like that. We have Fairy Miscreant. Go. So the final build, like I said, will be next week for this deck. And all the decks that are getting featured this week. I think I just play a land, hit ya, say go. Next turn we could play a land, leave up Spell Stutter, plus play Eco Drain. So next week is going to conclude all 3 of these 3 series. And we're going to move on to the next step, which is a different set. Alright, so we definitely want to do that. Play Ego Drain. We're going to take Fable the Mirror Breaker. Hit ya, say go. Shocks himself. A Harvester. Play a Temple of Deceit. 3 steps ahead is a nice counter spell. We'll go ahead and draw that right now. Get a little frisky for 1. Say go. Cracks it, gets rid of the Parhelion. Now the question is, how does he do this turn? He could play land Archfiend of the Dross. Alright, we play Spell Stutter. Now if we ever get Spell Stutter Sprite, that would be freaking amazing for Fairies. You probably would have it a legit Fairy deck in Pioneer, but for now, this is a reasonable start. We're going to go ahead and play Talion. We're going to say... Could do 4, because we already know he has an Archfiend of the Dross, but that seems too risky. Play a land, say go. Now there's a good chance that he just drops down the Archfiend. Yeah. Another land, huh? Play the land, say go. So another land. Gets frisky for the Archfiend. Take the 6 down to 11. FOMO. We get to draw a card. I'm pretty sure I get to do both of these modes. And get rid of an island. Anoint it. Anoint with the affliction. Alright. Hit ya. Get rid of the harvester. Go. So we're essentially at 5. Come on, creature. That's neither. Just a bunch of lands. That is a threat, but again, I guess at this point we're playing to Archfiend causing himself to lose instead of our deck actually just winning. A Fang for the Parhelion. And we just lose. Sure. 0-2. Let's get into the next. Oh, Miscreant. Play a Swamp and a Dream Thief. It's not a land. That is a land, but it's not the color I want, but it'll have to do. So this is most likely Dimir Ninjas. Now this is another way that you could pivot. So he thought seizes me. Do you take the ego drain? I mean, go ahead and push. Shove. Go. Thoughtseize. Takes my counter spell. And we untap. That's not what I'm looking for. Just keep shoving for 1, I guess. Go. So like I said, the next version, we're going to have a much better mana base, but because we'll have, you know, like, we'll have Watery Graves and all the rare dual lands, which is really a really big upgrade. He just has a hacker, huh? Yeah, where's my lands? If I get this duelist down, I could do some stuff, but a hacker picking up a hacker. Man. Alright, get rid of the hacker. This kind of sucks, but get rid of the ops. Go. We can't have you keep looping this and actually getting net card draw. Looting is, you know, bad still, but not as bad. Okay, I guess we're just destined not to draw blue swords. Brazen Borrower. Yeah. Take our beats. Most likely we lost to our lands. Scoop it up. That's 7. Alright, too late for that. So he's primarily a blue deck. We could play Dispute. I don't really know if I want to bring into Rest for the Kaitos or not. For creature-wise, I'm not really worried. I'd rather deal with Planeswalkers if I could, but I can't. I think Phyrexian Arena is probably something better than what we have. I want to cut 3 cards. 1 Slight, 1 Opt of Faeries Fencing. We're not like that. Sleight of Hand on accident. We will pick up, I guess, Swamp. Go. I meant to play the Fairy. Okay, Shores, Thoughtseize, and we get punished. Dang it. Go. Okay, Miscreant. And a Siren. Yeah, those happen. Play a Swamp. Go. Cracks the map. Okay. Tap Watery Grave. I think I get rid of the Siren. Take 1. Play Talon's Messenger. Attempt to Ego Drain. Get rid of the push. Say go. So he has a Kaido. So he can't really attack. He has to just play the Verge and naturally cast the Kaito. Down tick minus on my Messenger to make it tapped. And then he gets to attack with 1. That's like his best case here. I don't think he wants to shock himself for no reason, but playing the Verge is free. And just hard casting a Kaito. And then minus.
Slim chances just make victory that much sweeter.
Oh.
I've trained with the best.
Okay. Answer that. Draw. Get rid of the dispute. Go. Can I win this game? Hits me for 4. Surveils.
Now
And draws. Okay. Hit. Let's try to hit the Kaito. That's late to the party. I could be risky and get rid of the stutter and then draw a card off this, but I don't think that's smart. So Kaito down. Play a Faeries. Say go. Alright, make some shuffle. And a Miscreant. Or a Mocking Bird. Alright, what's your last card? Okay, play the land. So we hit you. Yep. I don't want to play the land. Make him think I have something. Hacker for the opponent. So we play Dream Thief. Any lands pitch. Hit you. Go. Turns on the Hall. Alright. Block the Hall. Take 3. Eat the Dream Thief out of my yard. Cool. So he goes a Luton. Head check. Go. I want you to tap out for the Hall. Alright. Take 3. We're at 8. Another land. Go. Browner. Okay. Curiosity. Enduring Curiosity. Get rid of the Hacker. So we take 2. He draws a card. And Thoughtseize sees that we have nothing going on. We have basically got flooded out of this game. And now he just turns on the Hall and he wins. I mean, not much you could do there. 0-3, let's get into the wrap-up. So what do we learn this week about this deck overall? Like, so the issue that we had, of course, is the issue with mana. That seemed to be the over thing that happens with this deck. One time we just literally drew them at black sources because we play 16, I believe, yeah, 16 basics, which you don't really ever want to do. But you can't, with this kind of deck, you can't really afford to play that many tap lands, so you're stuck in that predicament. The choke definitely helps, but yeah, not enough, right? So I do think that this deck is a lot better than the previous version. Our sideboard is much more tuned. Everything else in this deck is fully upgraded when it comes to uncommon and common stuff. So the problem, like I said, you don't really want the common and uncommon lands. You could play the 13 or less common duel, just because it can come into play untapped, but it comes into play untapped when you're already kind of losing. So, or I guess you dealt 7 to your opponent, which I guess could occur. But like I said, next week we will be discussing the full upgraded deck of this series, and then we'll move into the next one later this week for this channel. We also got Dynamite upgrade version 2, and then we got Path of Peril version 2, and then the following week after that we will be going into both, again, fully rared out versions of Dynamite and Path of Power. So Path of Power I think is going to be very interesting as the finalized version, because we're going to be playing a lot of cards that I think are pretty reasonable, and it is a different take on a Stompy deck, where you care about Power 4 more. So stick around, subscribe for all that, and until next time, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.